Well, happy Sunday Funday chat. What an interesting and exciting last 30 days it's been. I was going to be here last week, but of course, the Grim Reaper has to try to drag my ass into the nether realm. But I fought my way back from the void because there's so much fun to talk about. I put off dying for a little longer. Of course, I'll be here to sell you hats and read those super chats. We have a lot of fun stuff to do. I used to do a Sunday Funday back in the day. We used to look at different streamers and lolcows and awkward standouts and trolls and all sorts of fun phenomena on the internet. And I haven't done one in, years. It's a nice little roundup. Round off. What is that weed killer called? Round something. And so we're going to be spraying it right into their face, spritzing them in the face like a fucking cat. I'm sure some of you out there can relate. I'm sure some of you are cat owners and understand what I'm talking about. Give them a good squeeze right in the eyes. Hopefully not with weed killer. I'm talking about with water. Jesus. You'd have to be like Mersh if you used weed killer on your cats directly in their eyes. It's going to get clipped and used out of context. There's this guy on YouTube. He sells hats and he hates cats. It rhymes. I don't know why. But he's psychotic about it. Keeps spritzing him in the face with weed killer. Talking about dandelions. I think it's some kind of acid trip gone wrong. I don't know what he's seeing on these fur lines, but they're clearly not covered in flowers. Or weeds, for that matter. How's your weekend going, chat? How are things where you are? Hopefully everything's coming in loud and clear. I hope my dulcet tones are reaching you as we're getting ready to dive into the insanity that's been going on the last 30 days. Quite a few interesting things going on. And I thought we'd kind of ease us into it by talking about somebody that I covered, I think it was 2 or 3 streams back, when I did a little smorgasbord. Great word, by the way. Doesn't get used enough. I guess we're not an Amish country, so it's not going to. We're not those Dutch, Pennsylvanian Amish people. But nonetheless, a smorgasbord offering. We talked about Daniel Larson and others. And one of the interesting characters from the internet that we'd gone over was Andy Ditch. Let me just pull this up so we can take a look. Now, maybe you don't remember who Andy is. Put a picture up there. Such a handsome boy. Such an attractive boy. Look at him. Women love that look. They love that super obese and bald. It's a twofer. Nothing gets that pussy wetter than having tits larger than she does and less hair than her pussy. Oh, they love that. It's a little pro tip from me to you. Forget the gym. Just shave part of your head and eat a lot of Twinkies. Be rolling in it like our boy Andy here. Now, we covered him because he's got quite the interesting lifestyle. He runs around faking autism, which was kind of the conclusion we came to after looking at an absurd amount of clips related to him, which was only just a minute amount of what was out there when it comes to Andy. There's quite a lot of content if you were to look into him. People like Kiwi Tapes and Smokey MC cover him quite regularly. Me, not so much. So I got to kind of pick and choose from the best moments and put a compilation together. Well, it's sad news. It's sad news for Andy. Now, I know you're wondering, what kind of sad news could our boy be, experiencing? Did he run out of diapers? I mean, he fakes autism and he has a shit fetish. He likes to poop in diapers and force people to wipe his butt. That's not an exaggeration. That's literally what he does. He's been spending a good 2 decades faking that he has a disability, pretending he's slow in the mind, a little water-brained, and trying to get state agents, employees of the government, to come and wipe his pooper. This has been something he's quite dedicated to. He's really committed to the bit. So you have to kind of wonder what would upset our boy here. Did he run out of Pampers? Did the doctors finally get together and just put something in his file that told everybody, hey, wait a minute. This guy is completely full of shit. Not the way he wants to be. He's just a lying bastard. We shouldn't really pay any attention to him. No, there's fucking tragedy in the Andy Ditch household. Now, I know when we talk about tragedy, we have to kind of walk on eggshells. We've got to take a careful perusal of this news. It's quite devastating. Now, Andy is quite the family man. He loves his family, very close to his family, loves his brother, best of friends, is his father's son, always there for the old man, and he loves his mother. Andy really, he's just very committed to making sure his family's looked after. In fact, he is such a family man, he made the news for how much he loves them. All over the state, They were talking about it incessantly.
A man from the city of Tonawanda faces 3 felony charges accused of spiking the food of several of his family members. Police say 34-year-old Andrew Ditch put Epsom salts and laxatives in the food and the water reservoir of the family's coffee machine. The family members knew something was wrong when they all started to suffer from nausea, abdominal pain, and severe diarrhea. Ditch was arraigned and is being held on $5,000 bail. He will return to court tomorrow for a felony hearing.
Uh-oh. So as you can tell, he really, oh God, he loves his family, loves it so much he tries to kill him with a little bit of home cooking. Can't remember exactly what he put in there. I think it was Windex, kitty litter. I don't know. You know, it's just he grabbed whatever was on the shelf, whatever kind of looked like baking ingredients that nobody would really notice. Maybe some Epsom salt, and then he could just claim, "I went in and thought." No, tragedy struck, and not by Andy's hand. Fate itself has intervened. If you remember, during one of the clips, he had a humidifier he liked to run. A lot of essential oils. His mother and father are very sick. I think his father's in congestive heart failure. The mother also had quite a few medical issues. Breathing issues. She was on oxygen. And he used to run a oil machine in the house and basically put her to the point of death because he just didn't give a shit. Well, it looks like fate decided, hey, you know what, Andy? We're going to step in and we're going to take care of it for you, champ. We're gonna swoop in and make sure mom is taken care of. You don't need to raise your hand, little angel, or sweet fat little cherub. Let I, death itself, do it. That's from Kiwi Tape's Twitter account. Hours after his mother's death, Andrew Ditch goes on Facebook to forgive her for denying his incontinence. It's quite a sentence, really. You know, it is tragic when somebody's family member dies, and usually I'm pretty hands-off. I mean, you know, Susan, I've made quite a few wine box jokes about that, had tragedy strike her family when her son died of a drug overdose, and I didn't really make a lot of jokes about that, and then she died too, tragically, leaving a husband and a daughter behind. And I thought, God, that's really dark. And as much as I like to make jokes about her and about YouTube monetization and all that fun stuff, I kind of veered away from it. I made one or two, but I really didn't get into it because I thought it'd be rude. But, you know, occasionally you'll come across somebody's tragedy and you'll find that they're so insane and disconnected from reality that they have to find some way to incorporate their disgusting sexual fetish into the tragedy that surrounds them. While the rest of their family is grieving the loss of their mother, of somebody they loved who was in the household, he finds a way within minutes of the announcement of her death to make it about him taking shits in diapers. Again, take a close look at what he looks like, and then imagine the googly that's going to be given by this man at the church at her fucking funeral is going to involve the phrases Pampers and I took a big dookie. So I read this and I laughed for a good 20 minutes. And of course, my wife walked in and was curious, why are you laughing so hard? And then I pointed to this and she thought I was a monster. Why would you laugh at an old woman dying? But it's a fact that he had to make it about his incontinence. He had to make it about his fucking shit fetish. And I know Andy is not a big fan of his mother. He's kind of like Boogie, you know? They got some tipple troubles.
My mother twitted my fucking tipples!
Oh, now my precious little tipples. But I thought we could read it before we get into the other stuff. I thought, let's start on a somber note. So this one is a dedication to his mother. This is what he decided to put on Facebook to the entire neighborhood, to the family, to everybody that has anything to do with him. When they look up his fucking mother's death, this is what they're going to get. From Andrew Ditch. I want you to know, Mom, that I have help for my disability and needs. I am safe. The hard work you had done to help me is all paid off. I just want to hold you, but I couldn't get there in time to see you. I was hoping to see you tomorrow, but we will see you again someday. I wanted to say how I forgive you about not accepting my incontinence and things you had a hard time with doing because of your back, and how if you didn't have the back issues, you probably could have handled me as a kid. Having autism was not your or Mike's fault. I hope he forgives you too. I know I did. I just wanted everything to go back to the way it was before your heart attack in 2012. When I was working and had all kinds of help. Hey, can we just pause for a second here? I know we're only halfway through. 2012 is when her heart condition began, when she had breathing troubles and everything else you associate with somebody having heart issues. 13 years. 13 years you're withering away. 13 years your health is fading you as your heart and ticker goes away. And believe me, this is something I can relate to, having had multiple heart attacks. I've got 2 stents in me. I have congestive heart failure. I know what it's like. It's unpleasant. Everything surrounding it is unpleasant. Now add to that the fact that she is a old woman, geriatric, with other health conditions, barely able to get around her house, barely mobile, as you can imagine any mother or grandmother would be. And you've got this fat, retarded fuckwit for a son. And he is Googleizing you, talking about having to take big old poops. Over a decade. Over a decade of suffering with this fat, ugly, retarded man-child, constantly talking about how he has autism and he needs mommy to wipe his butt. And there you are gasping for breath in your final fucking days as your big retarded son harasses your husband, which he did, by the way. He's currently doing. Harasses your husband and your other children. Won't even allow you the peace of the twilight of your life. Let the morphine take you away in its sweet embrace into the never land of eternity. This fat piece of shit is going to go on and talk about how he forgives you for not working harder through your heart attack recovery to wipe his butt. That's pretty stunning. Mom, you're not going to be forgotten. I hope Kenmore Mercy Hospital, who failed you, does not do this again to anyone. Mom, I'm sorry. I had a hard time functioning and being able to behave because I couldn't do things. I needed predictable environments. Funerals are not fun and are hard to deal with. I just want to cry now because I miss you. At least I have people taking care of me like name redacted and others. I would like name redacted to go with me tomorrow to be with Dad and be back to my house before dinner time, even if she doesn't get paid the full time, because she only works to 2 p.m. with me tomorrow. Gotta find a way to close it out on something strong, like bitching that your state aide, who's been forced to wipe your butt by the fucking government, doesn't clock out too early. I know you're only getting paid till 2 o'clock, Shaniqua. But I'm really going to need you to take me to this funeral so I can talk about Pampers, and then I'm going to need you to take me to my dad's house so I can make it all about me. It's a very, it's like a portal. People like Andrew Ditch are a portal into modernity. I know. Oh my God. Here goes old man Jim bitching about the kids again. But really, hear me out on this. Is there a better example of what the hell is the matter with people in this day and age? Everything has become some narcissistic, ego-fueled adventure through life. Everybody's the main character. Everybody else is secondary. They don't have feelings or needs. You can categorize them away and make sure the focus of attention is on you, because whatever their hardships are, they don't matter. It doesn't matter if they're a neighbor, a friend, somebody in the neighborhood, an acquaintance, a coworker, or God forbid, a family member. It's all about you. In fact, this fits with the theme of what we're going to be talking about today when we get into it with the in real life streamer apocalypse. But something is fundamentally broken with people. I don't know where you're going to blame it. Is it the permissiveness and progressiveness of society? Is it technology that's made people alienated and cold? Is it just the fact that everybody's been so shit for so long and nobody really noticed? Because we're all cocooned away and now it's more noticeable? I don't know. But he's the perfect example. A man who has dedicated himself to forcing others to take care of him for something that doesn't exist, that involves a sexual fetish. Somebody who is willing to rob his family and the taxpayers of time and money and effort, taking it away from people that actually need services. And he's going to find a way in his mother's last moments, in the remembrance of who she was as a human being after her death. He's going to find a way to make it about himself. and about his poop fetish. And there's no better capstone for what's going on in this day and age. People have, it's not even apathy, because they're not cold to themselves. They're very hot on themselves. They're very tuned in to themselves. There's just something fundamentally broken with people. And that's not even generational. This isn't me putting this just on Zoomers or millennials or alpha. This goes to boomers and everybody else. They've all become sick off the saccharine, sweet titty of pure, unbridled narcissism. And it's kind of fucking disgusting. It's a little bit insane, I'll be honest with you. So I thought, I'd start us off with that. Because what better example, what better segue to get into talking about some of the most fucked up people on earth? When you're talking about in real life streamers, when you're talking about the stuff that they do. I know you've probably heard about a few here or there. We're really going to go nailing through a few that I think are most interesting, and talking about the others is too. People like Somali and Doherty, Vitali. Some you might not even know, like Goodnight Chicken and others. But I think they're probably the best example, the case to be made for what I'm talking about. But Andrew, I think, kind of segues us in nicely to that. God, giant, fat, ugly man. When I used to do videos, I used to, try to interlace them with humor because it's good to laugh at insanity. But I did like to talk about a lot of the things that I found that were screwed up. Whether that was more lighthearted with Deviant Siri talking about people that were just into really goofy, weird stuff, right? Awkward, inflationary blueberry fetishes. Or Tumblrisms with the mind rot that was coming through colleges and academia and filtering down through the rest of society. But generally, I tried to kind of, put it in there and wrap a nice little bow around it. One of the things that's still kind of, pervasive, that's stuck around, is this egotism, this narcissism. But I don't want to. I don't want to be too down heavy on this, because we're going to have fun today. It is Sunday Funday. So before we get into the heavier stuff, as a gamer, I thought I'd talk a little bit about gaming and what's going on in the industry. I don't know if you know it, but I'm a bit of a gamer. Play a little bit of video games, okay? Beat my wife, keep her in a cage, drink a little Mountain Dew, and eat some Doritos, and I play some first-person shooters, all right? Buy the same game every year, all the DLC for it. Fuck you. I don't care if it's ruining the industry. I don't give a shit. A little bit of a gamer here. Like to swear, say a few slurs, if you know what I mean, a few hot terms that might make the neighbors blush if they catch me through the walls, and they're thin enough that they will. I think I've taught the neighbor children at least 22 different racial slurs. And I mean, we're getting into some really unique ones too, okay? I mean, I learned some doing streaming throughout the years. They've learned a lot more in the past few months. But one of the problems with gaming, oh God, there are quite a few of them. One of the problems I've noticed, and maybe you've noticed this too, is the rush to digital. Now, go with me on this little journey back in time for a mere moment here. Maybe you remember this, because I sure as shit do. When digital delivery of content was first pitched, it was right kind of on the tail end of the introduction of, microtransactions and DLC, and changing kind of the content of a game and who it applies to, and microtransactions and mobile gaming and all of that. But this idea of digital delivery was pitched to people, and it was article after article with every dev and studio swearing up and down the same fucking thing. It's going to be cheaper for you. Regardless of the development cost for us, it will be cheaper for you. When you're looking at the cost to put a video game out, oh, woe is me, they would go on and on and on at fucking length, talking about how the production costs and the disc costs and the logistics costs and the shipments and putting it on store shelves and working with realtors, how all of these different things all added to the total cost of that game, that $60 game sitting on that store shelf. Well, really, with digital delivery, it's only going to be $30 or $40. We're going to take out at least a third of the cost of that, and that's going to you. Those are the savings you're going to get. And that didn't work out, did it? No. There were no savings put towards you. They kept the price the fucking same. When you go to buy a digital copy, it's the same as a physical fucking copy. It's the exact same amount of money. Now, explain to me how that is. After they spent years on a campaign to tell you that you didn't need to own physical media, that digital was just fine. Believe in the power of your hard drive. Believe in the strength of the cloud. And you're going to save some money. You're going to actually be financially better off, and we're going to make just as much money, so don't worry about us. And then once people start adopting it, once they get used to the convenience of it, once the numbers start to go up, you get fucked in the ass. They bend you over and fuck you. But their greed doesn't know any limits. So where are we at? Well, maybe you noticed something within about, I'd say the last 2 or 3 months. It started with tweets from different developers and people working on the project. Then you saw a few of the indie gaming journalists talking about it. Then a few of the larger platforms and more large and mainstream gaming journalists started doing interviews. And what do you know? The conversation shifts from, it's not just, how much we're going to charge for a digital copy of a game. We're going to start charging an obscene amount just because our development costs now are so through the roof. We become so much like Hollywood in such a disgusting, wasteful way that we need to charge you $100 for Grand Theft Auto 6. And immediately once this started getting floated around, you may have noticed a few things. First, the apologist came out. Oh my God, you don't understand. They spent a decade working on this. Billions of dollars have been put into this project. Really, it's okay if they do it. It's different. It's special. You should really accept it. It's going to be a great game. You're going to buy it anyway. What are you bitching about? Look at Grand Theft Auto 5 sold 200 million fucking copies. Are you going to say no to Grand Theft Auto 6 at $100? No, of course you're not. Shut up and sit down. This was testing the waters. This was much bigger than just this title itself, much bigger than just this company itself, just like with that digital distribution shit. Here we go again. Hey, $100 a fucking game. We've got a lot of large costs and you're going to like the game anyway, so shut the fuck up and pay. Well, how did that work out for you? Because it quickly evolved from there, didn't it? It went really quickly from this. Because if you'll notice, within months of this happening, suddenly we've got who coming out? Oh, fucking Nintendo coming out. Hey, everybody. Oh, don't you love the Switch too? Well, the hardware, that's not too out of, the spectrum, the norm, the range that you'd expect. $450 for a console, that sounds reasonable. I mean, you paid $750 for that PlayStation 5 Pro model. You're going to pay $600 or $700 for the fucking Xbox Series X. So $450, that's pretty reasonable. I can't really fault them for that. It's that other thing that Nintendo's doing. Well, it's two, really. Right on the heels of Grand Theft Auto 6 for $100, here comes Nintendo out of the gates with $70 to $80 for their physical games and nearly the same pricing for their digital games. And, really enjoy those physical copies because not, just on top of that $80 fucking dollars you might be paying, you might also be getting a game key card, which is a blank fucking cassette, cartridge, whatever, that you get inside your case that you have to download the game anyway, so there's really nothing on it. It's a waste of everybody's fucking time and effort. So instead of just giving you a download code, remember, this was their initial plan. We're going to do a download code and cutting $30 off the price tag. They're going to give you a download code in a physical box and then charge you an extra $20. And fuck you if you have a problem with that. The balls on these people. And, their reaction to the heat they got for this, which is remarkable, by the way. Nintendo fans are known for taking it up the ass. They rarely complain. They love their console. They love their first-party titles. They got upset about that. It's a lot of fucking money, $80 a title. Well, here comes Doug Bowser. If you can't afford a Switch 2, stick to a Switch 1. Let's read the direct quote so I don't misquote our boy here. What did Doug have to say? As we look at Nintendo Switch 2 and you think about the feature set that I talked about, we believe that the pricing is appropriate for the value of the machine and the gameplay experience overall, Bowser said. We recognize there are some people that may not be able to afford the Switch 2's price point. That's why we wanted to make the other Switch platforms available, so people still have an opportunity to come into our gaming universe, be a part of these characters and these worlds, and see value, if you will, in whatever rung of the platform they come in on. Now, this was a sit-down interview with CBC, where Bowser had said this. I tried to look for the actual interview clip. I couldn't find it, but it's a direct quote nonetheless. Ah, now this might sound familiar to you. No others have probably pointed it out. But for those of you sitting there and pondering, where have I heard this exact kind of response before to people being pissed off in regards to what platform they should buy? Because he's essentially telling you if you can't afford it, buddy, you don't like the feature set, just stick to the Switch 1. Well, we have heard this before somewhere.
Fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right. So stick with 360. That's your message if you don't, like it?
If you have zero access to the internet, that is an offline device. I mean,
oh, you can't afford our Xbox One? Just stick to a 360, you peasant. Oh, are there dirty, filthy, fucking poor people around me? Why don't you stick to the Xbox One? Or, I'm sorry, stick to the Xbox 360. Stay off the Xbox One, peasant. Oh, boy. And, of course, Microsoft, not to be outdone, running in there on the heels of Nintendo doing it, GTA 6 talking about it, they're announcing a price range across all accessories, consoles, and gaming. So now with the one game they release a year that runs at 20 fucking 2 FPS in a sub 4K resolution will now cost you $80 to $90, and you get to run that on a now more expensive Xbox Series X. Are there more features? Is it stronger? A better CPU? None of that. It's the same fucking thing, but you're just going to pay more for it. Because Sony did that a year ago, and fuck you, you're going to put up with it. Absolutely lovely. Boy, I just love gaming. I just love getting robbed. I love getting fucked. I know a lot of people talking about tariffs and inflation, and all these don't make excuses for companies fucking you over. They're more than willing to do it without an excuse. They don't need your help. They lied to us years ago about the switch from physical media, and we're finally here. Welcome to it. This is the death of physical media when it comes to games. Nintendo was the last holdout. Microsoft was long gone with the Game Pass shit. Sony's already been licking their chops at it because they know that they sell more digitally than they do physically. Nintendo was the last hope. And now you're going to get blank cards with no code. What are you going to do if something's fucked up? If the system goes down? If Nintendo goes out? I don't know what you're going to do. You're fucked. You'll have a bunch of useless shit that doesn't work. That's always been the risk. I really thought we'd get at least one more generation, but that's it. It's done. This half and half shit, and then it's gone. And every company that can make money will do so. They don't give a fuck. They'll come up with an excuse. They'll placate you, tell you things you want to hear, but they're going to charge you $100 for a digital download code, and you're going to put up with it because you got stuck sinking $800 into a console you can't fucking back away from. What in the fuck is going on with these people? With their overinflated budgets and just horrific fucking customer service and their antagonistic, hostile attitude towards their customers? Is that look at the slop that's coming out. I mean, do I have to point you to how the innumerable number of AAA titles that have come out and are dog shit? I mean, this game in particular, they insulted their fans. They lied about what they were doing. They put together a sloppy product. They delayed it, and it still was a sloppy, shitty product. They lied about their sales numbers to try to make it look better than it was. They antagonized people. They shit on people. They didn't hit those sales figures for an overinflated project that has a fucking bizarre identity of hip-hop chauvinism by DJ Thug Tits here. And they're females. Oh my God, there are so many issues with this particular title. I don't need to go into it. You've got 1,000 YouTubers that will go over it. But it's more to illustrate a point. Look at the things that are coming, even by companies that are known for putting out decent products that people like. Look at Bungie's newest endeavor with Marathon. This absolutely sterile, soulless pile of shit. This looks like the sort of FPS I would have played in the middle of the 2010s that I downloaded off some free-to-play fucking website and runs in the remnants of Flash. That's what this reminds me of. One of those free-to-play FPS shitty Flash games that's got an ugly, understated, indie art style that's just bare bones fucking mechanics. As bare as you can get, charging $40 for your 2-map extravaganza? Are you out of your fucking mind? They put an alpha out there. The alpha doesn't do well, and that's based off the fact that the available numbers you can see of people participating in the alpha went off a cliff on day 2. And so they open it up. They get rid of the NDA because they're going to show you how great it is. And it's soulless slop shit. And how sunk into it is Sony as the owners of Bungie? How fucked are they after Concord and all this? You know, they wanted to hit that trend because game development is always like 5 years behind everything. That's why Sony has so many shit bombs dropping right now, because they really thought they were going to be the next fucking Fortnite. They really thought that they were going to get on that Tarkov shit. And here they are years later with a fucking uninspired, sloppy, shitty, fucking sterile mess. Time and again. And of course, those games by themselves are shit. But then you infuse that uppity, lib shit, hippie, fuckwit San Francisco flavor. And you're cooking. You got a little fagaroni on the stove. Now the blue hairs have really, really fucked you with their horrific looking color schemes and models. They got to put a little DEI in there for no reason. Nobody's going to stop them. God almighty, what is going on? And they're suffering. They and all the people they work with are absolutely suffering for it. Even in gaming adjacent sectors like gaming journalism, here comes Polygon. Gaming news site Polygon gutted by massive layoffs amid sale to Valnet. Polygon co-founder says he's just completely sickened by the news. Oh, are you, buddy? Oh, God, it's so devastating. Oh, everybody at Polygon got fucked in the ass. Well, you know, first off, you don't hate gaming journalists as much as you should. So let's celebrate. Can I get an F? Can I get an F for fuck you, Polygon? Can I get an S for spit on him? Oh, it's into the bread lines with you, Libby. Take your hippie smelly ass, take your San Francisco ass into the fucking bread lines. That's where you belong. Let's get an S. Let's get some S's. My little snakes. My little sweetie squad snakes. Can we get some? Let's spit on them. Show me a little contempt and spit on the motherfuckers. Grind them into the dust. You need to celebrate more. You need to celebrate when your enemies make a tactical mistake for their hardships and suffering. You know, that that quote from Sam Hyde is fucking accurate when he talks about what they want to do when they win, hurting you and your family and your children and thinking it's funny. Show no mercy. Enjoy your victory. Savor it. Grind them into the fucking dust so they can't get snotty about it because they think they have the moral high ground. Fuck you. Fuck you. Who's going to hire you now? Where are you going to write now? Because this trend is everywhere. It's not just in gaming journalism. It's all the fucking companies. Report, EA lays off hundreds of workers after canceling games at Respawn Entertainment. 300 to 400 fucking employees. 300 to 400. And this isn't, something that's once in a blue moon. This has been every fucking week since the start of pretty much 2025. It's news of some AAA game failing, some company failing their earnings report, some endeavor being canceled, some gaming adjacent thing getting gutted and all the people fired, gaming journalists being nailed to the fucking wall by new parent companies, and corporations expunging subsidiary studios and letting go of mass amounts of employees. You know, when I looked at the numbers, it was catastrophic. I don't think people understand how catastrophic the percentage of firings in the gaming industry have been in 2023 and in 2024. When you hear numbers between 10 to 20,000 employees throughout that entire fiscal year period, you're talking anywhere from 15 to 20% of people being shit kicked. And here we are in a new year, brand new year, keeping those numbers. We're fighting for those numbers. We're pumping them, boys. We're pumping them. So you tell me, what message is that sending to these fucking retards? Because I'm confused. How is a company going to come to me and say, hey, you're going to pay me $100 for this game, and it's a digital-only game. What are you going to do? Well, how about I don't buy it, asshole? How about your industry is literally getting a boot on its neck? I am George Floyding your fucking industry. Where are you to dictate to me anything? Where are you to get snotty with me about fucking anything? I will burn your shit to the ground. And then I'll pirate the stuff that you worked on before you became poverty-stricken. What are you going to do about it, bitch? Ask your journalist friends to write an article crying? Sorry, they got fired too. Where do you get off treating me as a customer like shit? You smug little fuckers. For a decade, you've been like this. And now you are reaping what you sowed. And I think it is fantastic. Because this industry needs to get gutted. It is as incompetent and spend happy and visionless as Hollywood. When you look at the amount of monies those studios lose, the amount of projects they embark upon that are fiscal fucking disasters, and then you look at the gaming industry and notice they have followed lockstep with that fucking model. But the difference is Hollywood has existed for 100 fucking years, so they know how to use and abuse tax shelters and all sorts of loopholes to protect their ass. Whereas you, my gaming industry friend, don't know how to do that. Nobody has a 100-year relationship with your shithouse. You're going to dictate to the customers that we need to spend more money and be happy about it and get less for it? How about fuck you? How about I can handle not having any video games for a decade? Can you handle not living in a house? I can handle no multiplayer for a decade. I'll read a book. Can you handle living in your fucking car? I can handle not enjoying the newest fighting game or the newest pew-pew shooter game. Can you handle 18 days in a row and no food in your tummy? I think one of us doesn't really have the sternness to survive this. I don't know, chat. I think these people might have overestimated their ability to fuck around because they know they are surely finding out. And they'll keep doing it because the people in charge of these studios are brain-rotted retards. Does that mean everybody in the industry is bad? No. Does that mean every company's bad? No. But it sure is prevalent. It sure is a lot of them. This might be the perfect opportunity for mid-tier developers. If you look back on the history of gaming and you look at some of the best libraries that ever existed, you'll see something like, and I don't think anybody will disagree, even if they had a different console at the time. But look at something like the PS1 in particular, or even the PS2. Use these two as an example. There were so many companies that had existed before those consoles that had made niche games that either didn't get ported over or didn't get translated or didn't have the money for a publisher. And these companies, when they had that opening up, of verdant green new fields and not being under Nintendo's thumb and not having to worry about Sega imploding, this open opportunity. You had all these companies coming out, Working Design, all these other companies. I mean, think of something like that released stellar fucking games that weren't AAA, but they weren't indie. They were this weird sort of middle ground. They created an amazing library with a real breadth to it that you don't really see anymore, with unique, fun, quirky, funny, different experimental games. And that time period, and not just PS1 and PS2, but you've got the N64 and the GameCube, you've got stuff like the Dreamcast. Think of the titles that you used to see come out, even the first party stuff, just the fucking the field of games that you had. The things that you could look into, the things that you could play, how fucking quirky and weird and good they were. And seeing these big powerhouses that have dominated everything, that have ruined everything, that have just run their business in a shitty way, treated their customers in a shitty way, bullied and berated others with their wealth and prestige in a shitty way. And now they might have an opportunity. As they all fucking go down in flames, The little guy can pop up and say, hey, we don't have $100 million budget, but we make stuff that's not dog shit. Maybe you should check it out. Maybe you'd like it. Maybe we could accommodate you. We have a development cycle that's 2 years, not 10. We have a budget that's $10 million, not $200 million. And we don't do marketing because you tell people if it's good or not, and we sell based on that. I don't know who's going to reign. Is this going to be left? Is Evercade going to be the last fucking console that does physical? Are we going to all be dual swapping our ROMs into fucking Evercade machines? I don't mind that. It can run fucking Tomb Raider and Legacy of Kain, so I'm fine with it. It's like a Sharp X 86,000 or a PC 8801. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's dual boot this bitch. Let's have those double-lot, game devs get out there and start making me little cartridges for my fucking Evercade. Oh, sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent. Yeah, this is just, it's something that does bother me. I probably, like the majority of you who are watching this, have, I'm your typical, I'm so typical when this comes to it, middle class. And my spending habits and my earnings, everything when you look at our household is just your basic bitch middle class sort of person. I'd love to be one of those streamers that does it every day, and I've got a Lambo and a stupid mansion and whatever, and then I don't have to think about money. But me, like every one of you, when I see this sort of stuff, it pisses me off because I think to myself, I do like gaming, and I like it as a hobby, but I'm not going to put that much money into it. I just can't. I can't put that much money into it anymore. I can't justify to myself $100 a game, even if it's a good one. I can't justify to myself getting something that's just a download code. Rich coming from a guy that's got a fucking Steam account, but it's true. I mean, maybe if they acted like Gabe, this would be a different conversation. But have you ever seen Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo say, hey, everybody, we're going to do a Summer Games Fest and everything's $1. Hey, everybody, just for the fuck of it, these 100 games are free. Why not? I'm Gabe and I love you all. No, they never do that. They never treat it like that. So how is this guy with a PC, service platform and a monopoly almost? Do you really count Epic and Blizz? No. So with a monopoly, is still more generous to everybody than all of them. It blows my mind. It really fucking it gets to me, and I kind of wonder if Gabe ever has a conversation with the people on his platform when he talks about doing sales, and he's like, listen. It's fucking digital, man. You don't have a product cost. Yeah, we get a cut, but everybody gets a cut. That's the reality of how this works. That's a platform cut, just like you get on a console. But what you don't have is a physical cost. So it's just, when it comes to this hobby, I can't justify it. I can't pay $100 for a fucking download code. I can't pay $100 for something that should never have gotten to this. And I don't want to hear about, I've got a J.C. Penney catalog and a Toys R Us flyer from the 1990s. Yeah, from Serbia. Okay, you got that from Germany or from England or whatever other fucking country it was from. Yes, I get it. Nintendo occasionally had overpriced shit. But if you look at the N64 and you read everything about it, there was a reason. Those cartridges were cost prohibitive. That's why why do you think Final Fantasy VII ended up on the PlayStation rather than the N64? Square didn't want to pay money to put it on a cart. So, it's a completely different fucking conversation. Oh, it's got my gamer hackles up. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Just working out a little bit. There's Jimmy's getting a little hot. But I wanted to switch it up a little bit. I wanted to switch it up a little bit before we get into some of the more serious stuff. Talk a little bit about Andy Ditch, rip in peace, Mama Ditch, and a little bit about gaming. But the actual show, the main show, is coming up here. We've got two things, the IRL streamer apocalypse, but we've got another one that I'm going to work my way into because you might not be aware of it. Currently happening right now at this very moment. But Give, Send, Go, they're in the middle of a race war.
Race war! Race war! Race war! Race war's on, everybody! It's going down! Shit is going down!
Now you see, the story of the Give, Send, Go race war is quite interesting. It focuses around two campaigns that have shown up on this little indie platform where you can do donation campaigns. Think of a GoFundMe. Maybe you haven't heard of Give, Send, Go. It's just an alternative, same thing. There's nothing really super different. They're a little more forgiving, though, when it comes to what kind of campaigns can be on there. They were sort of established as that, as the alternative that wouldn't boot you for putting a campaign on their platform. And our story of the Give, Send, Go race war begins with two particular campaigns. One revolving around a gentleman named Carmelo Anthony, who, as you know, I checked this earlier today, maybe the numbers are a little off, but as of today, is sitting at $521,872 raised off 15,235 donations. Now, Carmelo Anthony is somebody who's been accused of murdering another student. He stabbed him in the heart at was it a track meet or a run? Killed the kid. And they have put up this campaign, and a lot of people, 15,000, have donated $521,000 to him and his family. But Carmelo's not the only one up there right now. No, we've got another person. This is what makes it a race war. Her name is Shiloh Hendricks. Currently sitting at $628,342, up 23,359 donations. Now, Shiloh Hendricks didn't murder anyone. She didn't go around stabbing high school track athletes in their heart with a fucking Bowie knife. She said a no-no word on a playground to a child that was allegedly stealing from her and her family and was in the middle of getting canceled. Oh, cancel culture. But something funny happened, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Give, Send, Go race war, the story of Carmelo Anthony and Shiloh Hendricks, and what the hell is going on. Because it talks to larger issues that are currently happening in society right now, and something that's sort of kind of fucking remarkable. And these stories are really actually related in a way you might not imagine. But before we get into that, because this is going to be the show proper, and boy, am I probably going to get in a lot of shit for this one, based on the clips I've got ready to play. It's going to be fun, I'm telling you. Before we get into that, this is a hat-funded economy, so let me be a little bit of a whore, and then we're going to take a small break, and after we do the break, we're going to get into the race war. So I'm going to let my little merch commercial play. Take 5 minutes, grab yourself a drink, get ready. Of course, listen to the commercial. Go get some of the new Americana merch, the Brutalism stuff. It's good stuff. Or maybe some Candyman merch. I don't know. It really is up to you what you'd like. There's a whole host of new items up there. I think I've got a picture of a few of them. There you go. The Brutal Americanism and the Sweetie Squad van. The very nice, wholesome family stuff. Mars is Ours, Manifest Destiny in outer space. Good stuff, too. Find that over at Metokur.myshopify.com. Home to many hats. So let's do a small break. We'll get back into it with the Shiloh Hendricks story and Carmelo Anthony. Believe me, it's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. Buy that hat. All right, let's turn the little break icon off so everybody understands what's going on. Oh, I hope you had a good piss. Did you write a whole story about it like Andrew Ditch would? Did you say, Dear Mom, there was a stream going on and I had to go take a piss break. Please post this on Facebook for the whole family to know. I hear that's a trend now. So I've set the stage. Give, Send, Go. Two different campaigns about two different subjects. And let's get into this. We're going to get into some heavy shit. I'm going to start with Carmelo Anthony. And Austin Metcalf is a person that he murdered. The boy that he killed. The teenager that he slaughtered. And, I'm going to start this off. I know I've colorfully titled this a race war, but I want to start this off by saying this. The thing I found most offensive about this particular story, aside from the egregious actions of Carmelo Anthony, is a fundamental thread that's run through it in regards to his father, Jeff Metcalf. Now, I understand everybody grieves a loss differently. I mean, we talked about Andrew Ditch earlier and his weird insertion of his fetish into the death of his mother. But Jeff Metcalf is the father of Austin. And there's something so disgusting about betraying your blood, about turning your back on a family member who has suffered a horrific injustice. And this man has done something that's so fucking reprehensible, that's just so subhuman to do. And I can't get over it. Every child, regardless of their age, should feel like their parents have their back. Should feel like they are there with unconditional fucking support and unconditional love. And don't, get this twisted as me saying, oh, you've got to pay for all your kids' shit and put up with their bad. No, of course not. Of course they'll be disciplined. Of course they're going to be, some kind of a structure around their personality and their lives. I get that. But what I'm talking about is when outside forces conspire to hurt your children. When somebody comes at your kids, it's your fucking duty as a parent. It's your duty as a decent human being to unequivocally, 100% back your fucking child to the hilt. And if somebody kills them and takes their life and murders them in the prime of their fucking life, your duty as a father, as a decent fucking man, is to get out there and tell the piece of shit that did it that you hope he burns. That every ounce of justice coming his way is deserved. Because that is what a fucking parent does. You step up and protect your children. And you go after those that hurt them. And it's disgusting that this piece of shit has... I don't even know where to begin with it. I don't even know what the psychology of what I'm witnessing is. I understand people go through grief in different ways, and sometimes it fucks you up. Sometimes it scatters you to the wind, and it makes you think in weird ways and do weird shit because you can't accept the reality that somebody you fucking love, that you had a hand in creating and raising, is dead. But this man, his behavior is repugnant. And understand, this is for any parent. It's not if you're just white, you're black, Latino, I don't care. If you betray your kid like this, you deserve scorn. So I want to show you what this man, quote unquote, has done. His son has been murdered. That's what he knows. Stabbed at a school meet. That's what he knows. And within 24 hours, he's out there to make sure that nobody picks on the man that, the other boy that annihilated his son. He wants to make sure that nobody says mean things. You might hurt the feeling of the piece of shit, the homicidal maniac, the fucking criminal that killed your kid. You want to make sure to go out there and let everybody know, the world and the news and your neighbors, to be nice, to behave. You're going to go out there and protect the piece of shit that killed your son.
It's very unfortunate that this other child decided to make a bad choice that's going to affect him for the rest of his life. I have compassion for every human being. This is not, I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on a soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know. They weren't there.
They don't know. They weren't there. Hey, you don't understand. All right, this boy is a human being. He's got some feelings too. You know, when he was shoving that Bowie knife in my boy's heart, as he sliced his heart open with a giant Bowie knife like a fucking victim out of a shitty Hollywood horror movie, when he's reenacting Scream on my son in that school tent, he hurt his wrist a little bit. The thrust of the dagger in my athletic son's chest, because he is athletic, he's well defined and built those muscles, they provided some resistance, and you don't understand, he hurt his hand. That's not a black or white thing, that's a human being thing. Don't you understand this poor boy that annihilated my fucking son needs your sympathy? And don't you dare say otherwise, or you might be a racist. You might be one of those bad people that says spicy things like the N-word.
I want to clarify something right off the start because I've already heard some rumors and some gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice, and it affected both his family and my family forever.
Oh, you know somebody who else it also just happened to affect was your son, who he murdered. What a fucking betrayal. Now, I don't have some special insight. I can't tell you if there's an afterlife, and if there is an afterlife, what kind it is, what religion it might be. But imagine that such an afterlife does exist, and his son is in it. And after being taken from this world so early, he sees his father kissing the ass of the piece of shit that took him from it. What level of betrayal is that? What level of sort of disgusting suicidal empathy are we at? Now, you might wonder, what about the rest of the family? He happens to have a twin brother who was there and watched his brother die, held him in his fucking arms as he bled to death. Or the mother who's now lost a son she'll never have, what their opinion is. Because when the news covered this story, they were so shocked by what this man was saying publicly, both during press events and directly to news stations, that they decided they had to talk to the rest of the family and see what the fuck is going on.
I heard your husband say within hours of this that he forgave this other young man, and he got there so quickly. And I honestly don't know that I could. And I just want to see, and I don't know if there's a right or a wrong place to be, especially as quickly as this has happened. Megan, how do you feel on that front today?
I am not like their dad. I am so angry at that boy. And it's just not fair. That's all I have.
Yeah, it isn't fair. Yeah, and I would be angry too. I think anybody would. Any sensible person might be. Now this farce, this fucking circus, continues on. The father, he just couldn't help himself. He had to insert himself and give this speech time and time again. Now, when people die, especially in a lot of public eye-catching ways, or things that get a lot of news coverage, or things that really, anger people, as this particular case had before the Gives and Go even started, you'll get others that will start to insert themselves, others with political beliefs, organizations that will try to latch on or use the event that happened and try to incorporate it. And I get that. That sucks, and most people would be annoyed by it. That's understandable. But the father decided to use such an occurrence where a group of people, I don't even know who it is exactly, used his son, talked about his son, said it shouldn't be happening, talked about white kids getting killed across the country. And instead of telling the guy, just fuck off, decided to grandstand. Now, the audio is a little out on this. I tried my best to fix it. It's going to come blasting through. But let's listen to some pearls that he decided to drop after telling everybody to be nice to the killer.
Country is wrong. Why can't you stand that and say with that? Maybe you can. Would you be willing to stand by me in a press conference or in an individual interview and talk about this issue that is larger than Austin at this point? God rest the beautiful young man's soul that would have been one of our strongest voices if he was still alive today. Yes, I am, sir.
Part of the fucking problem, my friend. You're trying to create more race divide.
Okay, I didn't subtitle it, so I'm just going to say it out loud to you. Hopefully you can pick up on it as we're listening to it. Again, the audio is completely fucked. He's doing this via phone to this man, and that's being picked up by a mic that's in the crowd. The first thing he said is, you're making this worse. You're making it a race issue. You're basically a piece of shit. How dare you? How dare you bring up the facts of this case? How dare you condemn the kid that murdered my son?
Bridging the gap. I do not condone anything you do. You do not have any fucking...
That's called white guilt.
No, let it talk. My son, let me finish. I give you your time. You take my son's face off your website. I am not associated with you.
You're creating more Austin Metcalfs with your weakness, sir.
You know, generally, if I saw a clip like this, I'd almost always be on the parent's side. I'd be like, stay away from the event. Don't try to use the kid. Don't try to politicize it or use it for whatever your fucking thing is. But this guy actually is right in this instant. Your son got stabbed for no fucking reason. And you're out there on your knees sucking the dick of the murderer and his family and his attorneys and telling everybody they're wrong for talking about the facts of the case. And running cover for this shit. And you're going to see what that results in. Yeah, you're creating the same mentality in the environment that's going to lead to more of the same shit happening. This guy actually happens to be right. So what happens to Dad? When he's down on his knees sucking dick like a retard. Oh, well, let's see if the courtesy's returned. Let's see how Carmelo Anthony's, family and his attorneys treat the father of the victim when he shows up at their press conference. Let's see how that turned out.
If you take a look at your screen now, what you are looking at is video of Jeff Metcalf being escorted out of the co-working space where the Next Gen Action Network's office is by Dallas Police. You see that there. Jeff Metcalf, the gentleman who was wearing the sunglasses and the blue shirt, who's being escorted out, is the father of Austin Metcalf, who was the teenager who was stabbed and killed in the tracking 2 weeks ago. He is being asked to leave, escorted out of a press conference that is being held where the parents of the child who is accused of killing Metcalf's child are expected.
He got thrown out. They threw his ass straight out of the event. He shows up because he's going to, circle suck all the Anthony males on stage to the amusement of everybody in the press. I don't know what his fucking plan was. But they threw him out.
If you take a look at your screen now, what you are looking at is video.
Oh, sorry. I think I hit the wrong volume button there. Did I hit the wrong? Oh, Boomer Jim did it again. I'll summarize. I'll be succinct about it so we can catch up to where I am right now. What I was saying in regards to the clip was, isn't it interesting that Carmelo Anthony and his family will ask this man to leave when the defense of his son is essentially that he was asked to leave the tent. That makes it permissible. It's a case of self-defense because he was in a tent he shouldn't be, but he was asked to leave, so he can obviously stab this young man to death. But when his father shows up at a press event, open to the press and the public, he needs to be escorted out by the police. And I was also going to add, just as icing on the cake, to really put the finishing touches on this clusterfuck, the father, as he's leaving, because it's his age, I've always heard people say this shit, and I always thought it was a fucking joke. I always was under the impression that it was bullshit, that boomers will tell young kids, you look them in the eye and you give them a firm handshake. And what is he doing here? He's literally looking them in the eye and giving the police a handshake. Thank you very much for throwing my ass out. Let me shake your fucking hand. He's doing it. He's doing the meme. Amazing. And what did, really just to kind of cap this off, what did Anthony's attorney have to say about this after having him escorted out and thrown out? After this man has gotten on his knees and sucked the dick of the person that killed his fucking kid? What did they have to say about it? Oh, let's give it a listen.
And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who is not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism.
That's racist. Oh, shit. Can I say first, I really appreciate the costume choice of the man on the left. I feel like I'm watching a Kid and Play movie from the late 80s, early 90s. I'm just waiting for fucking Urkel to pop out somewhere. It's like one of those made-for-TV movies where they're kind of adults, but they don't say any cuss words, and they're going to get jiggy with it, yo. That's the outfit this motherfucker's decided to wear to this press event. And then he's got the dime store preacher as his fucking attorney up there. I don't know if this nigga's going to sell me a fucking Cadillac or what. What are we doing up here? Oh, lordy. This man is a racist. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. So you might be asking yourself, because Carmelo now is sitting on how much money in total was it? How much money in total was it that they fucking raised? Let me just pull this up here. Yeah, $521,000. $521,000 given to somebody who essentially just killed some kid at school because he felt like it. Wasn't supposed to be at the event, wasn't registered in the event, skipped school to go there. Alleged to have been going through people's bags to steal shit. Asked to leave and killed somebody. And that's deserving of $520,000. And oh my God, if you watch social media in regards to this, did black people love it? There is a wicked case going on in America. I was raised kind of as late Gen X, early millennial. And, it was always taught to us to be colorblind and to believe in meritocracy. And this was sort of drilled into us. And the continuation, the evolution of that has led to a suicidal empathy. White people do not collectively believe in themselves as a group, and they don't ever say shit when something happens, and they feel bad if they're forced to address it. But every other group on Earth does not think that way. They don't believe that shit. You want a case in point? Go look right now. And this isn't even really a different, two differing races or ethnic groups. Go look at Pakistan and India, who are on the brink of war with one another, and look at how they talk to each other. Look what happens when the Indians or the Chinese have a border dispute. Look what happens when any group, such as the Chinese, are in Africa. Their Belts and Road program where they go around giving third world countries well, I'm not going to get too deeply into what they're doing with the exploitative practices of their government, but they're going into third world countries and building their bridges and shit. You ever see a Chinese tourist go to like Nigeria and see what they do? You'll see black people walking up and down the street going bing bong ching chong. You ever see what the Chinese, how they react when black soccer players show up in China? Every group on Earth thinks in some degree along racial lines, along ethnic lines. But white people have evolved this weird sense that they can never be collective when addressing an issue that affects an individual or the group. And this man, Jeff Metcalf, has been so bred and fed on this disgusting shit that he is willing to betray his son so that he looks good and non-racist when it comes to the piece of shit that killed his son. Most parents would defend their kids even if they were egregious pieces of shit that were guilty of something. And yet his son appears to be a completely innocent victim, and he's willing to throw him under the bus because he doesn't want to look like a bad racist. He doesn't want to look like he's thinking something wrong about this kid because he's a black kid. And every group out there is laughing at white people as they do this. And black people have been doing fucking cartwheels over social media, laughing their ass off, talking about how that teach those white people who can't season their chicken. Oh, lordy, white people can't season their food. So I donated $20 to fucking Carmelo. And what's Carmelo doing with this ridiculous amount of money? Did they use it for bond and bail? Oh no, they're using it. They're using it well, all right. They decided, hey, let's move into a nearly $1 million house in a gated community and buy a brand new sports car right after the bond. So, if I'm getting this right, he murders a kid for no reason, gets $500,000, moves into a nice house and gets a fancy car, and the victim's father gets on his knees to suck his dick. Well, you can imagine the effect this might have had on, I don't know, white people. They started to get a little bit mad. You know, I've said this before. Now, this is unrelated specifically to this. In regards to politics, with something like Trump's victory and the things that are going on with douche and corruption in the government and all of that, that I think people are going to go through a phase, essentially. Have you ever seen somebody come out of a cult? How it usually takes about a year for them to get deprogrammed? So America is going through this deprogramming when it comes to commie shit in their government, and becomes to government corruption. And, you know, a part of that, as this deprogramming is happening and people are like, hey, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't be taken advantage of. Hey, wait a minute, fuck corrupt politicians. Hey, wait a minute, you know, these commies have been lying to me. Part of that deprogramming is them going, hey, wait a minute, why is this kid getting a fucking mansion for stabbing some white kid at a track meet? So right on the heels of this happening, what do we have happen? Well, we have a young lady, online who's currently being referred to as Joan of Park, Shiloh Hendricks, who got into a little bit of a kerfuffle. Now there she was with her beautiful baby boy at the playground. I think I have here's a picture of her and her son at the fucking playground, just taking it easy. When allegedly one of the little kids at the playground, little black boy, went through her stuff and stole shit out of her purse, and she flipped out and she said a naughty word. Now I get it. People should not go around, you know, there should be a limit to how we interact with kids, regardless of who the kid is. But, you know, if somebody stole shit from me, I don't care if they're 5, fuck them. You know, I don't care if they're 5. If they're black, they're getting called an N-word. If they're white, I've got to be more creative. Probably trailer trash. I'll find something. I'll find something to stick. Maybe they're Italian. I'll call them a Guido. I don't know. I'll think of something. But that little 5-year-old's going to hear something. They're going through my shit. So anyway, she's there with her son on the playground. Kid goes through her shit. So what do you know? Because this is a modern day and age, and you can't do anything, anywhere, anytime, to any degree that involves an expression of who you are without somebody showing up with a fucking camera phone and deciding that they're going to use it to get you canceled.
Call him a nigger, the child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child the nigger word?
None of your fucking business.
It is my own business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again?
Fuck you, nigger.
Okay.
Nigger.
All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody dig into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a nigger?
Yeah.
The little child?
What, if he acts like one, he's gonna...
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Oh, we'll see what the internet has to say. I think the internet has to say, here's $600,000. I think the internet has to say, hey, you know, after that Carmelo Anthony thing where black kids are getting mansions for stabbing white kids, fuck you. How about that? Oh, we're going to cancel her? How about we're going to put her in a mansion? How about we're going to make sure she drives a Lamborghini? How about her kids are going to vacation in the fucking Bahamas? How about she's going to go to fancy restaurants and eat incredibly expensive food and drink champagne? How about that? How about that for that 30-second interaction? How about that's what the internet's going to say? How about white people have just reached the fucking limit? How about they've hit the peak of N-word fatigue? How about they just don't give a fuck anymore? And we're going to sanctify and canonize Joan of Park here. How about that? How about that? Also, you know what I really like? What I really enjoyed the most about this particular interaction? I don't know if you caught this or not, so I'm going to play it for you. She's like a horse whisperer to this guy. I don't know if you caught it. Let me replay it. She's using a very special vocalization technique to get her point across.
Miss, you call him a nigger? Call him a nigger?
I can't believe she monkey talked him. She sassed him. That was an orangutan call she did to this guy in the middle of this fucking park. And he didn't have that dead stop. He didn't know what the fuck to do. Did this bitch did she just McGilla Gorilla me in the middle of this fucking park? 600,000. Here you go. Here's your money. Would you like Bitcoin with that? She's going to have that video fucking put on Blu-ray and in a little shrine. So when her kid asked, "Hey, Mom, I thought we were like originally middle class. How are you affording to send me to like fucking Cambridge?" And she's going to hit the play button. In fact, that's what the license plate on her Lambo is going to say. That's what the fucking license plate is going to say. That's it. She's cracked the code. She's the monkey whisperer. She's the fucking monkey whisperer out there. Now, how could this story get better? Oh, because of course it can. Because the person who decided, hey, we need to cancel her. Now, you need to know, this took place in Minnesota. Okay, and there is a large population that has been imported into Minnesota over the last decade of Somalis. In fact, I believe it was it must have been 7 or 8 years back. People up north, I think it was in Duluth, had a complaint because a lot of the immigrants that were coming over, Somali and otherwise, they didn't have any of like the early childhood vaccines. And so they were worried that their kids who were going to school with these other immigrant kids were going to get stuff like measles or rubella or tuberculosis or all this other crazy shit. And I remember, I think it was Walls had gone up there and had basically told, it was some government representative, gone up there and told them, you're racist for even being worried about that, and you need to leave the state. Minnesota, what I'm trying to get at here, loves its Somalians. So there's a very large population, and this happened to be a Somali immigrant. And a very special kind, too. Rochester man charged with raping teen earlier this year. Omar, 29, and his acquaintance, Omar, 41, both of Rochester, are facing felony charges related to rape and sexual assault of a 16-year-old female earlier this year. You might be asking, how can a convicted pedophile be at a playground? Well, lo and behold, charges dropped against Rochester man accused of sexually abusing teen victim. The Olmsted County Attorney's Office has dismissed the charges in the interest of justice. Now, why would the DA pictured here be interested in dropping the charges in the interest of justice after waiting 2 to 3 years to even begin the proceedings against the alleged perpetrators? Because Minnesota runs cover. I mean, this was ground zero for the George Floyd riots, where half the Twin Cities were burned to the ground, where the government encouraged it, the governor's daughter encouraged it, his wife encouraged it, where the mayors of both Minneapolis and St. Paul encouraged it, telling everybody insurance would pay for it, and it was the voice of the oppressed speaking out, and that businesses would pick up right afterwards, not to worry. And now there is a massive crisis in the Twin Cities with a flight of numerous corporate headquarters, with a 40% unoccupancy rate of businesses in the downtown, with just explosive crime and crushed small businesses. This state loves protecting criminals. So of course a man accused of raping children is at a fucking park by himself, filming people, and just so happens to catch this. Remember, Minnesota is the place that somehow allowed a group of Somali immigrants to steal $250 million from children. They stole $250 million from kids in relation to feeding them. It is a fucking criminal paradise in this state. So here we are. Here we are in the current day. And what are we dealing with? On Give, Send, Go, you've got a group of people, mostly black, mostly, tweeted about by black people, and then you've got that special taste of liberal, that flavor that always pops up, that middle-aged fat white woman that just loves to take up these causes and dynamics. Out there, putting out that GoFundMe, that Give Send Go, making $500,000 for stabbing some white kid to death and laughing about it as the father begs for forgiveness. And then you've got white people who are essentially sort of waking up, getting tired of it, I guess, and have decided, you know what? We don't really know shit about this woman. All we know is some pedophile on a playground is saying they're going to cancel her because she got pissed at some kid stealing shit from her. And instead of letting her get swatted and fired and fucked with, we're going to make him a millionaire. So let me just say, welcome back, white people. Round of applause. It took you long enough. You've been sitting there for so long getting fucked in the ass, thinking of yourself as not a group, thinking race didn't exist, as everyone laughed at you, as criminals exploited you, as politicians pissed on you, as you kept getting fucked out of scholarships and business positions, as everybody told you that you were the responsible one for all the woes of society, and you finally decided, nah, you know what, I'm good. I think I've had enough. I think white people might have reached their limit. I think white people might have woken the fuck up.
Die große Zeit ist jetzt angebrochen. Deutschland ist nun erwacht. Macht auf die Runde und bildet das deutsche Volk gewinnen. Ich weise meine Kameraden, es ist euch wohl auch schwer gefallen, wenn ihr meint, es müsse nun um den Wandel kommen. Ihr dürft nicht handeln, ihr müsst erfolgen, ihr müsst euch bilden, ihr müsst euch diesen Unheil
Oh, can we have fun here? Oh, I'm so sorry, YouTube. That was the wrong clip. It was supposed to be a Barney song. I don't know how that got in there. I don't know. It's an Indian guy running YouTube now, so I think he's fine with it. Let me just say I love India and fuck Pakistan. Are we okay? Is that good? We good here? We still on the air? We're still on the air. We're still on the air. All right, we're good. We're doing good over here. It's all about a little bit of fun. It's a little bit of fun over here. Oh, I just don't get it. I really don't. Truthfully, when speaking about this kid's dad, how you could go out there and just shit on your own son. It's just unreal to me. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, pals. I think the dad's a little brain diseased. I think he's a little brain diseased. And I don't know anything about this woman. Usually what will happen is something funny will come out, and we're going to find out that she's got, like, a former black husband, or she's on, like, the World Jewish Council or something funny. But I don't think it matters at this point. I think people are just fucking tired. I am. Are you tired? Even when it comes to the gaming shit. I'm just so tired of it. I'm just tired of listening to academia and to, modern journalism and all these other things that just constantly have to chime in with everything always being some white person's fault, and white people being the root of all problems. And it just gets fucking grating after a while. And I think people are just fed up with it. Now, I don't know how insane it's going to get. I don't know how woken up white people are going to get. But at least we'll get some spicy shit posts, maybe. Maybe they'll get a little, maybe the humor will come back a little bit. I don't know. We'll have to see how that turns out. We'll have to see what happens. Move it along. Move it along. On to the next subject. Let's talk about unity and living under the rainbow. Let's talk about streamers. Because while the little Give, Send, Go thing is a good example of something that's currently going on when it comes to just how people are behaving, or gaming is a good example of companies that just decide to fuck over the little guy, or Andy Ditch is a good example of how narcissists with sexual fetishes will find a way, even at the death of a family member, to insert it. These all still pale in comparison. Yes, I am saying stabbing an innocent boy at a track meet pales in comparison to how much I hate streamers. In real life, streamers are the fucking worst. You know, when we were talking about Shiloh Hendricks, we're talking about what happened with that. Just happened to be a guy with a phone to stream it, to picture it. There is some weird fucking... Maybe you've noticed this, especially like if you ever watch law enforcement clips on YouTube. Doesn't matter what kind it is. Have you noticed how a lot of criminals, or even people that get pulled over or talked to by the cops, think that their cell phone is like a fucking protection charm? That think that it's somehow going to ward off anybody fucking with them? And this mentality extends to everybody. We're going to cancel anybody. I've got my phone on me. You better not say a mean thing to me. How many cyclists make it their life's mission to be dicks in traffic with a fucking phone camera going, just in hopes that they can fuck with a driver doing their basic commute to work in the morning? It's like a sickness. And like the best example, the focal point for what I'm talking about are IRL streamers. What started off as cutesy shit where their audience would fuck with the streamer has like metastasized. It's metamorphosed into this horrendous diseased thing where people think that they can just go out and fuck with an everyday person, and because they have their fucking little camera phone on them, they're untouchable. And it's the most obnoxious shit. You know, back in the day, I used to do videos on spree killers, and I hated them. I hate spree killers. And one of the reasons I hate that is because these assholes would always have a list of gripes, regardless of what it was. But they'd never go after the people they talked about. Instead, they'd go to some supermarket and kill innocent people. They'd go to some religious institution and kill innocent people. Your regular, everyday folk who aren't fucking with anybody, that are just trying to get by, and some rancid piece of shit has to go out and fuck them up for no reason. And IRL streamers are like a shadow of that. They've decided they have some kind of God-given right to go out and fuck with people and make money from it. And they're untouchable. Jack Doherty is a great example of this. Hires security, big muscular motherfuckers to go with him, so he can go around fucking with everyday people and never get touched. And he's got his camera and you can't do anything about it. But there's a trend that's starting to pick up momentum. And it's happening right now in Southeast Asia. And it's actually real interesting. So I wanted to start off this segment with a story you might not be familiar with, because you've probably heard one or two examples of this, but I want to focus on some shit you probably haven't heard of. So we're going to talk about somebody who might be a little bit different. Good Night Chicken. Cambodia jails Taiwanese YouTuber for fake kidnap. What? What do you mean jails? What do you mean arrests? Now this story and the events preceding it happened a little over a year ago, and I really think it's like the kickoff moment. A lot of people look at what's going on with Johnny Somali or others right now over in these countries. But this, I really truly feel when you watch, kind of when we go over this, is a start of nations and societies saying, fuck off, we're done. We're not going to do this anymore. This is done. This is obnoxious. Fuck you. There are going to be consequences. So what did these two guys do? Well, let me play a few news clips and we'll go over it.
A Taiwanese internet personality has been arrested in Cambodia for allegedly faking an assault during a live stream. Chen Nengchuan, known online as Goodnight Chicks, claimed he was beaten and robbed at a casino in Cambodia. In a live stream, Chen appeared in a disheveled state, claiming to be fleeing security. He then went offline, sparking claims he went missing. Cambodian authorities have denied the incident happened and are expected to release more information.
A Cambodian court has sentenced the Taiwanese live streamer and his cameraman to 2 years in prison. Streamer Chen Nengchuan, known online as Goodnight Chicks, claimed he'd broken into the headquarters of a scamming ring only to be caught and tortured. But it all turned out to be fake. Police say they found Chen and his cameraman staying at a hotel with a room full of props. The pair were arrested. Criminal rings have abducted hundreds of Taiwanese citizens in recent years in Cambodia, using fake job offers to lure their victims to the country. Police say the fake video damaged Cambodia's image and public order.
So, let me give you the Cliff Notes version of what happened here. Very popular streamer over in Asia, a Taiwanese guy, his cameraman, and a few of their friends, decide that, hey, you know what's been in the news a lot lately? These rumors, especially on social media, about people getting kidnapped and forced to work in sweatshops in Cambodia. Apparently, if you go over there, you'll get taken off the streets and forced to do labor at like some sweatshop and never get help. They keep you in a barbed wire building. It's crazy shit. You know what'd be super awesome? Let's go to Cambodia, a country that has issues with tourism to begin with, that's had its own shit to deal with for years now. And let's just make up a story to our massive audience that we are being hunted for sport by corrupt officials in the Cambodian military and security apparatus, that they've taken us hostage and are forcing us to work on building, on stitching together Adidas shoes. So that was their little plan, and they had props, and they had costumes, and they set this whole fucking thing up to make it look like it was real, and his fans thought it was fucking real. The entire country paid attention. They sent out search parties. The military and police all over the country started looking for them to rescue them because they believed it was genuine. Until people noticed small things like, hey, you know, the background of this hostage video seems to be from a fancy 4- and 5-star resort located at this beach. Uh-oh. Oopsie. Maybe we might have made a slight miscalculation on what's going on here. Look at these motherfuckers. Look at these disgusting pieces of shit. They got 2 years. 2 years. Cambodia put its foot down and decided, you know what, we're done. We're done fucking playing games. Fuck live streamers. Fuck these IRL parasites. You don't get to come, fuck with people, fuck with governments, fuck with reputations. You don't get to screw people over to make a nickel and then walk away like it's just a prank, bro. You know what the prank is? You're going to prison for 2 years. And the best response, and I swear to God, I wish other countries would do this, is what their government said. Imagine this. These guys get sentenced to 2 years in prison, and their families are hysterical, and their friends are hysterical over this. So they make an appeal to the Prime Minister of Cambodia. Oh, you don't understand. His grandmother is dying. She is dying in the hospital. You need to rescue them and let them go so he can take care of her. Let me show you what his response was. Again, this is from the fucking Prime Minister. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet spoke about the crime committed by Taiwanese internet celebrity Goodnight Chicken Now. Hugmain, someone called me the day before yesterday to help these two people, telling me that these two young people need to be released because they still have a sick mother to take care of in Taiwan. But I denounced the statement on the phone. If their mother is sick, then they should take good care of their mother at home, instead of going to other countries to ruin their reputation and cause trouble. So I say, they should be sentenced more severely because they are unfilial sons. This kind of selfish behavior not only hurts Cambodia, but discourages tourists from visits and causes people to lose their income. Hung Manet also warned any internet celebrities who want to come to Cambodia to make fake videos to gain popularity. We will take strict action. Just like these two people from Goodnight Chicken, they will serve 2 years in prison and be blacklisted, permanently banned from entering Cambodia. How fucking based do you get? Oh, your mom is sick and she's dying? I'm going to add more prison time because you're a shitty son for even being here. If she's sick and dying, why are you here instead of taking care? You're going to prison for being a shit boy. Or putting you in the shit boy slammer. That's a special Cambodian jail. That's where you're going, motherfucker. Oh, how I bet they sobbed. They thought that pity shit's gonna work. They thought he was gonna, oh my God, my poor mommy is sick. Let my poor mommy. No, I'm gonna add prison time. Holy fuck. I want to go on vacation to fucking Cambodia now. I don't care what issues it has. I like the Prime Minister's statement so much. It literally makes, if they said, welcome to Cambodia, we hunt streamers for sport, I would book a fucking ticket. Make it your tourism ad. Come enjoy our beaches free of obnoxious fucks. Now, it's not just Goodnight Chicken. Other people are in the news. But again, nations are finally putting their foot down. It's not just Cambodia. Now we have the Philippines saying, hey, you know what, Cambodia, maybe they got a good idea. Maybe this Vitali guy should suck our dick. Why was Vitali arrested in the Philippines and other stunts that have landed him in trouble? Uh-oh. Vitali arrested in the Philippines? What did this fine, upstanding individual do? What could he have done, possibly, that could get him arrested? Well, I put together a little compilation clip. Let's take a look at how a live streamer behaves in a foreign country and see if we think that's something deserving of getting arrested for.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Shit. Accident.
You know, I love it when foreigners come over to my country, get on the road, probably inebriated, with a camera in their face to do a stunt, and then just get into fucking vehicular accidents. So let's put that up on the tally board. Vitali over in the Philippines decides, hey, let's fuck with people on the roadway, cause a few accidents. Who cares? It's just a prank, bro.
Excuse me, madam.
Sorry.
I'm gonna fucking rob you if you keep walking away.
Now, let's be honest. If you woke up tomorrow and there was a story, take out the live streamer portion of this. Wherever the fuck you live, there was a story that said a senior citizen threatened with physical robbery by foreigner in the country for just 2 days. What would the reaction be? If I'm being honest with you, I'd be like, throw that motherfucker out. Deport his ass or put him in prison. She's just some old fucking lady. Just some old lady not doing shit to anybody. Here comes this jacked up goofball motherfucker. Oh, I'm gonna rob you if you don't do what I say. Probably like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on?
I want to give you money. No? Okay. No. Okay, because you got a COVID mask, you liberal fuck. Go get your vaccine. I was trying to give you money, but all right. Trying to be nicer. You. No, yeah.
Hey, something.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Please.
Yes? No? What are you gonna do? Hello.
Hold it.
Hello.
Let me hold it.
Hello. Paparazzi, you are messing us on a paparazzi. Paparazzi, you are my queen, Papa.
Have we reached the point? Have we reached the point of just having enough of this shit? Like, it's just fucking people. It's just some fucking mall security guard. It's some guy not doing shit. Probably gets shit pay. Everybody makes Paul Blart jokes about him all day. Probably has to go home to a shitty apartment. Doesn't have a real family waiting for him. He's eating ramen out of a bowl. Here comes this jacked up asshole who's just got to fuck with him, steal his hat, treat him like shit. For no reason. It's just a prank, bro. I'm going to steal your shit and make fun of you. Just a prank, bro. I'm going to tell this old lady I'm going to rob her. Just a prank, bro. I'm going to cause an accident on the highway. Just a prank, bro. I'm untouchable because I have a cell phone camera in my hand. That means everything's excusable. I can do anything I want.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have a very important question for you. No, this is for documentation team about Philippines. I have a very important question for you. Can I shove this up your booty?
What?
Can I put this in your butt? It's a called a new video game, Mario Kart Infinity 360. Is that okay or no? Okay.
Hulihin mo, kuya. Hulihin mo. Hulihin mo yan. Hulihin mo yan. The cop doesn't want to do anything. He's just. Why does he not react?
Probably because you're washed up. Probably because he's like, oh, it's just Vitaly. He gets like 100 viewers on Kick. It's not really worth the effort. Because my fucking electric scooter has a 4-mile range. So you're not going to get that far. That's probably why. Probably because I saw your driving video earlier, and I know that you're going to run into a fucking stop sign like some kind of fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. You're going to Wile E. Coyote yourself right into a fucking a gate or something. So it's not too much for me just to wait a moment.
Wait. I need toilet, please, toilet, please. I'm about to take a shit. Ay, caca. No. This is not how you make the burger. Show me how you do it. Don't worry, brother. I got it. Don't worry. I'm the manager. My name is Vitaly McDonald. Ron McDonald is me. The manager told me to cook. We need some salt and pepper. Don't make me look for it. All right, motherfucker. I guess. Salt. Give me salt.
No, that.
Can I have salt, please, sir? Sir, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm cooking.
So how did this work out for Vitaly? Well, now he's arrested, and he's facing, I think, up to 24 years, a quarter of a century in prison for all his shenanigans, all his little it's just a prank bros out there. That smile and mean mugging kind of ended a little while ago when the Philippines decided, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Let's put you in a gulag. Let's see how well you do in a jail cell. Why don't you stream that? Hey, we'll put a webcam up in the corner of the jail cell and, our Filipino prison, and you can stream as much as you want. All day. Live stream at 24/7. It'll be fun. Let's see how many funny jokes you can make with all the drug dealers in our fucking jail in the Philippines. I'm sure it'll be great. What could happen? What? We'll make it a state-sponsored stream. You can read advertisements in between the anal rapes.
If you cannot afford the council.
Oh, and just to show you that this is like just something he does naturally, just stealing bikes. I don't know if it's part of his bloodline or what. Is that an Italian thing? Just randomly stealing shit off the street and taking off with it. Now maybe he was doing like charity and making this fat girl exercise a little. I don't know. But the next one's interesting. Apparently he was in Italy and just decided to do this. Again, a foreigner in your country. Take a look.
I'm just kidding.
Sit! Oh, fucking right there! You fucking piece of shit. Hold the camera. Record. No, you're not fucking. You're not going to the car. Just go. Sit! No. I was fucking shut up. I pay you.
Let me see the car.
Don't touch it. Give me now. Give me all your cash. Give me all your cash you got. Give me everything you have.
Give me all your money. I want all your money. I'm gonna manhandle you and demand all your money. Give me all your money. Then I'm gonna steal a bike and fuck with some security guards. So we've got Cambodia putting people in prison for 2 years. The PM just wants to put them in for even more. And now the Philippines, 24 years in the slammer for Vitaly. Then what do we have going on? Well, of course, you've got South Korea, where the newest iteration of the Johnny Somali saga, I mean, you could go watch Atozy or Legal Mindset or all these other people that are flying out to do it. They've got better coverage than I could give you. It's been a months-long saga, but the newest iteration, the newest a bullet point for our boy here, Johnny Somali faces sentencing in South Korea over child sexual harassment allegations when he went to a public park and started talking sexual shit in front of kids. And they figured, fuck it. We hate this piece of shit. We're going to make him pick cabbage for eternity. For eternity. This is something that's happening all over Asia right now. Cambodia, the Philippines, South Korea. Japan now feels embarrassed for never pursuing Somali. You know, it would never happen in China. They hire influencers to come and kiss the ass of their cities, but they would fucking jackboot your ass out of there so quick if you tried any shit. Now, I don't know why it's Asia that's put its foot down, rather than Europe or North America or South America, but for whatever reason, Asia has now made it a sport to hunt for IRL live streamers. Whether it's in Cambodia, South Korea, the Philippines, Japan, China, it doesn't matter. It's getting sad over there. And the funniest thing, in relation to all of these happenings when it comes to these obnoxious assholes with their fucking little cell phone cameras, is nobody feels sorry for them. Not a single person is out there crying about the plight of live streamers being put in a hole for the next quarter century. All right, this isn't the 90s. Here's a little blast from the past. I don't know if you're familiar with this. Take a moment, take a look. See, does this remind you of anybody? I'll give you a hint. The country is Singapore. Now, maybe you don't have any clue. Let me read the little blurb for you. In 1994, a court in Singapore sentenced an American teenager, Michael Fay, to be lashed 6 times with a cane for violating its Vandalism Act. Caused a temporary strain between Singapore and the United States. There was so much press about this kid getting caned for chewing bubblegum. But when you read that second sentence, Fay was arrested for stealing road signs and vandalizing 18 cars over a 10-day period. Seems like there was a little more going on than just bubblegum. Seems like there's a little more going on than that. Now, granted, this wasn't a live streamer, but that mentality, he would have been. He would have been. Fay's sentence garnered controversy and was widely covered in the media in the United States as it was believed to be the first judicial corporal punishment involving an American citizen. The number of cane strokes in Fay's sentence was ultimately reduced from 6 to 4 lashes. Mr. Fay, did you say thank you? Hey, the United States government stepped in. You're only going to get beaten 4 times, buddy. Say thank you.
No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
I mean, maybe you should be appreciating what we've done for you. There'll be less splinters in your ass. Have you stepped forward, buddy? Have you shown a little bit of appreciation for us? That was arduous. We had to negotiate with the Singaporean government. I mean, we had to give them like a long-range intercontinental ballistic missile just to spare your little white ass cheek a few cannons, buddy. I don't. No thank yous. Nothing for me, buddy. I'm a little heartbroken over here. Oh my God! What the fuck? I can't. I'm sorry. I have it's a visceral reaction. I don't know what it is. I'm sick and tired of IRL live streamers. So I think it's funny they're finally getting their comeuppance, getting hoisted by their own petards, and it's done so publicly for everybody to watch, and they're getting laughed at for it. I mean, they built themselves up fucking with regular people and making money doing it, and now here these governments are coming in, all Asian, fucking with them and getting a lot of applause. People are applauding this. Johnny Somali is hated. From what he did with the Comfort Women statue, the World War II monument in South Korea, to what he was doing with small businesses, to just people on the street, doing live streams from Hank's apartment with a gun, talking about how he's going to go after the police and go after the trolls and fuck with regular people. He got confronted in the street, Johnny Somali did. Let me put his picture back up here so people know who I'm talking about. Hold on here. Where is Somali? There we are. He got confronted in the street by somebody, I think it was in the South Korean military, who smacked his ass. They just belted him one. And that guy got found guilty. He got in trouble for it. He got a 4,000 in U.S. currency, $4,000 fine. That got paid for. I don't know if you're familiar with the channel Donut Operator. He does a lot of police videos and shooting videos, but he paid it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, hunting these guys in real life and fucking with them and encouraging the government to go after them, like, everybody likes it. And the people that are, getting slaps on the wrists for going after them physically are having their legal tab picked up by people all over the world because fuck Johnny Somali. Because nobody likes Johnny Somali. And if you notice, in the Philippines story, and I think in the Cambodian story, it wasn't just the live streamers, but their film crews too got in trouble. And now what's happening in South Korea is, it sounds like Hank, the guy that Johnny Somali is staying with over in South Korea, is going to get in some shit too. Because I know the cameraman for Vitaly had to flee the country. He got the fuck out of the Philippines because they were going to arrest him and charge him with similar crimes because he knew the law. He was encouraging this goofy fuck to go out and do this shit. Then you got Jack Doherty, who somehow said he got robbed at gunpoint for his jewelry on Rodeo Drive. That either means that Jack Doherty has now reached the point of so hated that rich people are robbing him on Rodeo Drive, or he's so out of money because he can't whore out OnlyFans girls by acting as their digital pimp that he's faking robberies to try to get insurance money for his shitty, chintzy jewelry. But either way, fuck Jack Doherty. So we're in a renaissance. It's a IRL live streamer apocalypse, and it's open season on these fuckers all over Asia. If I were a live streamer, I would not set foot in any of those countries. And hopefully over here that mentality picks up, because we've got so many shitty live streamers and narcissistic cancel culture idiots, like that guy on the Somali playground. A fucking accused pedophile who felt so justified in his moral outrage that he was going to get a mother in trouble. A pedophile was going to cancel a mother because he filmed her at a playground. I think people have they're just kind of fucking done with it. They're just a little bit tired of it. They've reached their limit on bullshit. And they've decided, GG, no re, we're done. So, good times. Fun times ahead. God, Jesus Christ, man. Oh, I tell you, folks. Get his ugly mug off the screen. Holy shit. I can't stand Johnny Somali. I hope his illegal mindset and Atozy and all the others, I hope they can find a way to film the trial. I really do. Or just be there to cover it day to day. It would be wildly popular. You'd make a great amount of money doing it. And I think a lot of people would be interested in watching them get what they fucking deserve. All right, let me see here. Let us, because I have to go through Super Chats. So I've got Super Chats on YouTube, Ko-Fi, and Cash App. And I'll read through those. But let's do one more small break. And we'll come back and I'll hit the Super Chats. For everybody else, I hope you enjoyed the Sunday Funday. Originally, I had it planned to be a little bit larger. I was going to go talk about Ethan and Ian and their little tit-for-tatting back and forth. But I got sick last weekend. Really sick. And I still am just fucking under the weather. Now, I know I think I sound better. I think I sounded better on the last stream, too. But it's paradoxical because I'm not doing great. So 2 hours is about my limit. So we'll have to save, H3, and iDubbbz and the war of the enraged cuck, because it was going to cover their videos on each other and Hassan Piker and Frogan and all of that shit. And I almost always stay away from Twitch shit, but it was just so fucking mind-boggling that I really did want to cover it. So maybe on some future Sunday Funday, where we can go over more IRL streamers getting thrown in jail for decades. Because be assured, I don't know how Vitaly's trial will go. He will most definitely get some jail time. But Johnny Somali's fucked. I mean, they want blood. And when I say picking cabbages, that's not like a joke Like, oh, it's a black guy picking cotton. No, they make people that get put in prison do hard labor, and they love kimchi. They love cabbage. He he will be in the hot sun. He will be in 80-degree weather picking cabbage every fucking day for the next decade. He's going to make their food for them. That's the punishment they've decided for him. But yeah, so cover more IRL streamers getting their shit pushed in, because I hope that's a trend that continues. It'll be greatly entertaining. So for everybody that came out, thank you for coming out. We're going to do a small break. I'll come back, hit super chats from Cash App, Ko-Fi, and from YouTube. For everybody else, remember again, Metokur.myshopify.com. Fancy hats, fancy shirts and sweaters and mugs, oh my. And not raped by tariffs. I know a lot of jokes, oh, all your shit's made in China. Nope. I'm pretty sure it's not, because it would be like $8,000 a hat now, and it's still a reasonable price. So I think we dodged a bullet on that. The price has increased a little, I mean, there are some tariffs, but not 8 bajillion. I think that's just like, that's a Teespring thing, not a Shopify thing. So again, Metokur.myshopify.com for all your hat needs. I should have had that Elon Musk clip handy where he talks about a hat for a hat, but I'm stupid and I forgot. Anyway, we'll do a small break, come back and hit it. For everybody else, have a great weekend, and have a great week going forward.